You think grief is a human thing, that mourning, ritual, the act of returning to a body long after it's cold. You think that belongs to us alone. The truth is stranger, and it's standing 4 meters tall on the savannah of northern Kenya. On the 10th of October 2003, a matriarch named Eleanor collapsed. She led a family that researchers had nicknamed the First Ladies in the Samburu Reserve. And what happened in the hours and days after she fell was recorded not by a storyteller, but by GPS collars, individual recognition photography, and a team of scientists who happened to be watching. Their names matter here because this is real. Ian Douglas Hamilton and his colleagues published the whole account in 2006 in the journal Applied Animal Behaviour Science. When Eleanor went down, the first elephant to reach her wasn't from her own family. It was a matriarch named Grace from a completely separate group. Grace came to Eleanor, used her tusks to try to lift her back onto her feet, and when Eleanor fell again, Grace stayed with her, visibly distressed, refusing to leave, even as her own family moved on without her. Eleanor died the next day, and here is the detail that breaks the easy explanation. Over the following week, elephants from at least 5 different families came to Eleanor's body. Some were close relatives, most were not. They touched her, they smelled her, they stood near her. The scientists were careful in their language, but their conclusion was bold. This interest in the dead was not limited to kin. Elephants, they wrote, may have a general awareness and curiosity about death, and may extend something like compassion to individuals they aren't even related to. That word, compassion, in a peer-reviewed journal about an animal. That's the reversal. We assume animals flee the dead. Eleanor's story says some of them return. If this is the kind of story you want more of, real science, told slowly, about the animals we think we understand, subscribe and stay with me. And tell me in the comments which animal you want next. Whales, wolves, crows, octopuses. The best suggestions become the next video. I read all of them.
So why do they come back? For a long time, the romantic answer was that elephants recognize their own dead, that they return to a specific loved one. But science had to test that, and the test is uncomfortable. In that same year, 2006, Karen McComb, Lucy Baker, and Cynthia Moss published an experiment in the journal Biology Letters. They presented wild elephant families with objects laid out on the ground and watched what the elephants chose to investigate. The objects included an elephant skull, a piece of ivory, and a piece of wood. Then, in another round, an elephant skull beside the skull of a buffalo and a rhino. The elephants ignored the wood. They ignored the other animals' skulls. They went, overwhelmingly, for the ivory and the elephant's skull. Ivory most of all. They would hold it, turn it, move it with their feet and trunks. But then the researchers tried something sharper. They took skulls from 3 different dead matriarchs and presented them to the families those matriarchs had once led. If elephants truly grieve specific individuals, each family should have lingered longest over their own lost leader. They didn't. The elephants showed no special preference for the skull of their own matriarch over the others. Sit with what that means. The attraction isn't to a specific elephant. It's to elephantness itself, to the idea of one of their own lying still. They are drawn to death as a category. Not, I miss you exactly. Something more like, this was one of us, and that matters. And it isn't only the African species. In 2022, Sanjita Sharma Pokharel, Nachiketha Sharma, and Raman Sukumar tried something no one had done before. Wild elephant deaths are rare to witness. A researcher can spend years in the field and see it only once. So they turned to the place where rare moments end up, YouTube. They gathered 39 videos, documenting 24 separate cases of Asian elephants responding to their dead, filmed between 2010 and 2021, and published it in Royal Society Open Science. And across those cases, the same behaviors appeared again and again. Touching the body, investigating it,
standing guard over it, keeping vigil, vocalizing. In 5 of those cases, an adult female was carrying a dead calf, lifting it with her trunk and her tusks and carrying it, for days in some cases, judging by how far the small body had decomposed. A mother who would not put her child down. So go back to where we started. You thought grief belonged to us. But strip away the language, the funerals, the flowers, and what is grief underneath? It's the refusal to treat a body as nothing. It's coming back when there's no reason to. It's a stranger crossing a clearing to lift someone who isn't hers. The elephants don't have our words for it. They may not understand death the way we do, but they understand that something is gone, and they stay. Maybe that's the oldest part of mourning, the part that came long before us. And maybe, when an elephant stands over the bones of one of its own, it's not so much remembering a single face. It's remembering that to be alive is to belong to something, and that belonging doesn't end the moment the breathing does. A new video every week about the animals you think you know. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And the sources for everything you just heard are linked in the description, so you can read the science yourself. I'll see you in the next one.